GG no read.
We need to put a pillow on your computer.
What?
To smother it.
Stop it!
No, I just mean to dampen the noise that comes from it.
Not to kill it.
I think that's the least of your worries.
That's the least noise we need to be worried about in these sessions.
Actually, it's not. Because the background noise of the computer limits how much I can increase the volume of everything else.
Everything, of all the episodes we created, everything sounds great. So I think you can just deal
Sounds
with it.
mediocre.
I think we
at
have
best.
one listener.
Yeah,
I disagree with that.
Well, I feel like someone actually listens to it.
There's at least one
There's
person.
one
There's
person
at least
does.
one person who is not happy with
Who's-
some of the sound quality.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you said something about like crunching, and there was a
Oh,
comment about
that was an email a while ago. They were just talking about Tim crunching in the mic. That's not sound quality. That's just lack of manners.
Ain't nobody care about that.
Stacy, what are you doing, baby? You're like the old lady in church. Just
Turn your phone off.
Just
put it on silent.
I wanted to
You see
do
that
that.
switch on the side? You see the button on the side?
you just
flip it.
down.
Just press the home button to exit out or whatever
What
you're in.
is that? Are you gambling?
What are you doing? What is happening
Gambling?
right now?
Are you playing poker?
I was trying to do
You are over 40 years old and you are showing it. Now stop it.
Okay, great.
Great start.
So,
Glad you closed your
It just finished. You didn't
Candy
stop
Crush
it.
ad.
wow.
Wow.
Why is it loading all these ads? I was going to do the surprise mother, but I couldn't get it.
So,
You couldn't figure out how to operate your app.
So Daniel, do you want to
That
tell us what
happens
we're
in
up
your
to?
40s.
Can't get it up here.
It's gonna be a late night.
We're already starting
I'll
about
call
2
it.
hours later.
Late
I
night.
believe at 9:15.
GG no re. Barely a podcast. We're doing something a little different today, gents. We are playing Hot Springs Island. We're playing it in 5e. Hot Springs Island is system neutral. We're playing it in 5e, but then we're also hacking Pathfinder 2e, or what is known about it, into 5e. Not that we like Pathfinder, it's just that some of the things they've chosen to do in the second edition are kind of cool. Some of them are inspired by the OSR and 5e anyway, so why not? Hot Springs Island is written by Jacob Hurst and illustrated by a bunch of people, mainly one guy. Let's figure out who that is. Gabriel Hernandez is the main illustrator.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Really awesome stuff. Evan Peterson and Donnie Garcia are associated with it. I have no idea who these people are. I'm sure they're wonderful people. Some of them are wonderful people, I assume.
And some, I assume, are good people.
Trump.
Thank you for getting my reference. Thank you for getting my
It
reference.
was the hands that gave it away.
Okay. Well, was it not the Donald Trump wig that I'm wearing?
You didn't notice he was orange? He's been sitting here orange for an hour.
Tim's
Just got a
Cheetos.
joke.
He
It's the
put
red
on an
power
orange face just for tonight.
Yeah, he was playing the long game. He's playing the long game just for that joke.
Yeah, and it bombed. All right, GG over you guys. No, we're gonna play this. It's a system neutral OSR hex crawl that's think Paylor 20 hexes in total,
That's amazing.
and they're 2 miles wide. 2 miles across.
Yeah, that was my first comment looking at the map. I'm like, there's only like 20 hexes here.
Yeah. It's a little different than any other hex crawl I've seen. Every hex has something in it. In fact, 3 somethings, only one of which is immediately visible. So if you want to find the other ones, you generally have to learn about them or explore to find them. And you don't necessarily need to, because the conceit is there is no conceit. It just exists, and you figure out how you want your players to enter it. He has a default entrance on his website. This is Jacob Hurst. Swordfish Islands is the name of his website. So if you look that up or look up Hot Springs Island, you'll find it. And the idea is that there is a East India Company analog called the Martel Company, and they go trading everywhere, and one of the places they go is Hot Springs Island. All the players are going to be, or all the player characters, I should say, are going to be people that, for whatever reason, have been indentured to the company and have to work off their debt by returning treasure to the company from the island. They have a brand on their shoulder that will evaporate once they've discharged enough of their debt. I arbitrarily set the debt at 3,000 gold with a gold standard. So we'll see how that works out. We're going to do XP arbitrarily. I think I'm going to give you 1 XP per gold piece, and then also XP for combat, like 50 gold per 50 XP for a reasonable combat, and then whatever else I feel like, because that's what Pathfinder 2 does.
How about 1 per minute?
Pathfinder 2 does 1,000 XP per level, period, and then you reset to 0, which I like.
Kind of like 1 per minute. I just thought of that. Kind of works.
You just sit there. You farm by sitting still. Alright guys, it was a great session tonight. We farmed 60 times 3. That's 100.
You get experience for just sitting around and like talking in
Stealth check.
character.
Yeah.
Stealth check. Stealth check.
You know,
Rogue's
so,
OP.
so you know all those nights we sat
Instructors
around and
on
talked
play.
in character for hours?
No, we never did that.
It would finally validate those nights with
We're
experience.
responsible adults. We don't do that kind of business. So we're going to play this game. That's what's going to happen. I've already told you the setup. We've got 5e characters. We've got Tim. Say hello.
Hello.
You're playing
Shepherd.
this class.
Oh, I am a warlock.
Yeah, it's Jim. I'm playing Captain Hodel. He is a fighter, and he is going to specialize in tonking, especially by grappling.
Okay, tank fighter. Stacy, what's your class? And
My
name?
class? Hi, baby.
Low. You get my joke? Low class?
Yeah, I got it. It wasn't funny. I am a variant human, and I am a ranger at level 1.
No, I mean in the game.
Now, just tell us about your PC.
No one would see me holding up these middle fingers to you, can they?
It's an audio medium.
Audio. This is radio. Hans, it's radio, babe.
All right.
Johnny Musgrove is
Oh.
my name.
Thank you.
Johnny.
Copyright.
Not Johnny. Johnny.
Johnny.
Imagine a normal name and then
That's
deform
trademarked.
I'm wondering, like, so where'd you get the name Jommy?
It just popped in my head.
it. Yeah.
That explains a lot.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm actually named Hodel for a reason, but
It's like Yodel, but he can't spell. John.
Yes,
I'm playing Sir Audric. He's a fighter.
Sir Audric.
Yep.
The fighter.
Yep.
Excellent. I'm going to edit that out. I can't stand it. I'm going to edit it out, but leave in my explanation of why.
please just go. Beep.
If you're listening, I just edited it out.
So you are a fighter. You're a
Yes.
ranger.
Yep.
You're a warlock.
Mm-hmm.
You're the healer. I'm the tank. You're deeps.
Yep.
And you're
Survival.
here. Thank you.
Per usual, I show up for the comic relief of you people.
Yes. Yes. We're ready to rock and roll. Our previous episode should tell you the changes that have been made from standard 5e to make it more in line with what is known of Pathfinder 2e and the subset of what is known, what I care about. That's what we're doing. You are instructed in the text of Hot Springs Island, which, let's talk about that real quick. It's divided into 2 books, both digitally and physically, so you can buy them separately. The field guide is the player-facing one, and it's not only a player information source, but it's supposed to be an in-world artifact, an actual field guide that the player characters would have access to.
Like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes, created by explorers typically associated with the Martell Company. The Martell Company is the major trading company, blah, 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 and they leave the islands under the jurisdiction of Jeremy Rand, who has an adventurers guild that is here. And so there are other adventurers on the island, you can assume, and you're going to drop off your loot, I guess, with Jeremy Rand at his adventurers guild, and that will start to repay your debt to the Martell Company. The problem is your ship crashed. Is that what you call it? No. Sank. That's what ships do in the water.
I mean, it can crash.
Shipwreck.
Shipwreck.
Wreck.
It can crash into a reef, and then you are
wreck.
shipwrecked.
So I'm wanting to emphasize in my language choice the eventual result of
Okay.
whatever violence
sure.
happened to the physical structure.
Sure.
It's scuttled.
It got wrecked.
Is that it?
Yes.
That ship is wrecked.
So you were shipwrecked. So just as dawn emerges from the horizon, its rosy fingers peeking up,
Ooh.
we see you folks emerge from a shipwreck, corpses floating all around you, and you crawl up onto the black sand beach of HS-13. It's on the eastern side. You might want to...
Oh, you've got a map there.
Yeah. You might want to orient the iPad that way. There you go, baby.
And as usual, we have the mains representing our party on our hex map.
Yep.
Printed out.
And you will notice that the player map is available from the start. It shows you all the hexes, at least all the visible ones. And there are some locations that are already pre-filled in there. So this is not a totally unknown area.
There's one problem with this map.
Yes, sir.
The volcano's mouth is not 10 miles across.
Yes.
No, it's not. Unfortunately. That's a problem. He also suggests a nice way to track time, as is proper, and I'm so happy that he did this, because this is what I like. And so anything that aligns with what I like is, by definition, good. It's apodictic.
Wow.
He divides the day into 6 parts of 4 hours each, right? Because 6 times 4 is 24.
Wow.
That's homeschool. And to represent the turns, he says pick poker chips. But he doesn't stop there. He says pick particular colors of poker chips. So black ones represent nighttime, when it's dark. Red ones represent dawn and dusk. And then if you have white ones, I don't, so I have blue ones, represent when it's daytime, sunny out. So as
Or
the
the
day goes
sky's
by,
blue.
what's that?
Sky's blue.
Sky's blue. That's why I picked him instead of.
And we happen to have all these chips here.
Yes, we already did because we have a bunch of RPG accessories. Every time the turn changes, we'll just knock off a poker chip. That easy. And almost anything in the game, like going from one hex to another, or going from one point of interest to another, or exploring within a hex, just takes one turn, one poker chip. So here we go. You guys wash up on hex 13. It's dense jungle, and I will read the description. You guys ready? I'll go ahead and tell you it's called the Steaming Beach.
Should we write that down on our list here?
It might be
Might
on
already
there
be on there.
already.
It's not.
It's not?
Nope.
Go ahead.
So we name this the Steaming Beach.
Sure you do. There are large rocks smoothed by the tide making up the beach in this area. Plumes of steam are erupting each time a wave reaches the shoreline. The rocky stretch runs for at least 1,000 feet all around you. And the way he has these, I'm going to go ahead and tell this for the benefit of our listeners. The way he has these hexes set up is that in each hex you will see one obvious feature, right? This is the obvious feature of hex 13, the Steaming Beach. And then there's a surface description, which I've just given you, and then a section called the Dark, which is what is unknown to the players, which is GM only information. So I know what the Dark is, right? You guys do not, unless you investigate. And then each hex has an encounter that the players have. So there's an encounter each time. But there's a series of random tables you have to roll on to figure out what it is. So I've already pre-rolled that. Unfortunately, there's not a random table generator for every single one of the hexes.
This is incorrect. Daniel simply failed to scroll down far enough on the random generator page.
However, for the dungeons, the Questing Beast YouTube channel, Ben Milton, he has already done up generators for all of the dungeons. So you just roll it once and it generates the contents of each room. Because by default, they're unstocked, and he just gives you a table for each room to roll on. And you're supposed to figure out what's going on by the gestalt of all the results. So he says, like, if you're playing this, take a break each time you go into a dungeon, roll it up real quick, and then figure it out in like 15 minutes. Which I don't really like that approach, but I guess it gives it a lot of reusability. But anyway, Ben's already done that for us. But for the actual hexes, that's not done. So I will have to require a 1 minute break or whatever to do that each time we enter a new hex.
Again, this is false. Daniel is a liar.
But I've already got the result here. We'll do the description. So imagine you guys are pulling yourselves up from a shipwreck onto the black sand beach. The other good thing about this book is it has emojis in it, but just text emojis. Imagine this beach, steam coming up from the shore everywhere. And in front of you, you can see, just in the early streaks of dawn light, 3 huge, considering what they are, creatures walking along the shore, just going across your field of view. They are giant bats. Now then, let's see what happens, shall we?
Like how giant?
I'm going to say the size of dogs.
Okay. And they're walking?
They are walking.
They're a little
Okay.
awkward.
So the steam comes up from under the black rocky sand every time a wave comes in
Yep.
along the whole stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Is it dense to obscure vision, or is it just a little bit of steam?
No, it's like a geyser.
Alright.
In spots.
Like in
Oh.
spots. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So
That
we're
makes more
not
sense.
we're not actually standing on that part. Not all.
Okay. The bats do notice you, and they turn and spread their wings and bare their fangs. What do you guys do?
I take my shield off of my back.
Okay.
I stretch briefly, as I
Alright.
do before every combat.
Don't make threatening moves.
I grasp my morning star from my hip, and I prepare for combat.
You prepare to rock and to roll.
Yes.
Stacy, what is...
I grab my longbow.
Okay.
I load an arrow in it, but I hold it down.
All right.
Knock an arrow.
Yep.
Thank you.
Swords out.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Knock.
Okay.
Are you even an actual nerd, Stacy?
Have you even seen Lord of the Rings?
For the love.
I will have you know that at this, the bats back off and walk, yes, walk, into the steaming forest beyond.
We murder the bats. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, we can't let him go.
Okay, so that is your
rude.
first encounter.
Didn't even
There you
respond
go.
to me.
It is resolved. It all worked out. Now, for the procedures of like how monsters behave, it gives you clues to like what they're doing. So in this case, I literally had walking, and I know I'm gonna say bats can walk, so I was like, sure. So in this case, they weren't doing a whole lot. He has a 3d6 table, so there's 18 possibilities for what things could be doing. So you're supposed to interpret them contextually. So after this, you guys have a choice of what you want to do now. And here are your options. We have 4 standard actions. You can investigate, of course, in addition to infinity, because this is a role-playing game. But 4 standard actions. Investigate a point of interest further. This is a point of interest. This is the Steaming Beach. You can explore the current hex to try to find another point of interest, which you would then note on your sheet there. You can travel to a neighboring hex, or travel to another known point of interest in a different place. That makes sense?
So, is this... We've shipwrecked. Have we ever been on this island before?
You have not, no.
Okay.
Do we have any food?
Make a survival check, Stacy. DC 15, sir.
It's good.
17.
Okay. Yes, you have your normal rations. So let's say 3 days each.
Okay, so the rations I have in my
You've
adventurous
got a
kit don't matter.
backpack. Well, I mean, okay. Yeah, you can have whatever you started with on your sheet. How about
Okay.
that?
All right.
That makes sense. So yeah, you have whatever you started with. Congratulations.
Okay.
Wow, we were lucky.
Yes, indeed. So figure out what you would like to do, and then we will resolve it. And then you will have been through the tutorial hex.
Investigate this.
I need to
The
find it.
steaming sands. Or the areas where the steam is coming up.
That's what I think.
Yeah, you should go investigate that.
I need to find shelter.
But, carefully.
I need to find a place to...
I'm burning my
We need
face
to find
off.
a home base, someplace where we can go back to and be secure and safe for like sleeping and things of that nature.
Oh, sure, we'll figure it out.
Swim back to the ship. This is reefed.
I'm going to begin removing my my clothing, my
Well,
cotton padding
well,
under.
not that
No,
kind
I
of
have
game.
to. I'm going to strip down to the waist so I can squeeze every bit of water out of this. I don't want to risk exposure. I'm very practical. So you guys do whatever you want.
Man, what's the temperature like?
I'm a military man. I have business.
Alabama in summer.
Okay. Yeah.
It's hot. It's humid.
Humid.
Gonna be dry eventually.
Yeah, so there's something I will have to come back to. It says that Jeremy Rand, who is the Adventurers Guild dude, there's a bay called Swordfish Bay. I have not seen any mention of where this thing is on the map. So we will just say that it's not where you landed, and you don't know where it is.
We asked the author about this, and he confirmed that it is on a different island.
I'll hit him up on G Plus and see what he says. Okay. Maybe I'm misinterpreting that. I don't think I am, but we'll figure it out. So the action you have chosen for the party is
It's gonna
what?
be that one there.
To investigate these areas, these steam geysers, so to speak.
Okay, so you don't want to take one of the like turn long, like 4 hour long actions. You just want to check out the immediate surroundings.
Yeah.
Okay. They seem to be coming from like around the rocks. So every time the waves come in and they go over a rock, the steam comes up from around the rocks, and the rocks faintly glow with heat.
Huh.
And you notice there are bones among the stones.
Look at the bones.
Yep.
Like, how many bones?
A
A giant pile of bones?
no, not a giant
Just
pile.
a few. Do any of them look
Bones
humanoid?
scattered here and there.
Yes, some of them.
Okay.
But it's mostly animals.
How big are the stones?
Various sizes,
How big
from
are your
pebbles to man-sized.
Okay.
If we
You guys
approach
should go.
them,
You guys should go play with the stones.
if we approach them, are the stones hot? Like if we were to
You
try
can
to
feel
touch
heat
them?
radiating off of them.
That's cool.
That
Stones.
could be useful for something.
Like cooking an egg.
Massage.
Massage. It's true, massage.
Build a
tech.
shelter around it, keep it nice and warm.
That's right.
There we go.
Just hope you don't get
Get all the
hit by
steam.
plumes of steam erupting. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, just build it big enough. You know, give it its own space.
Just come close to it.
We should maybe wait till the tide goes out before we do this.
Yeah,
All right. So what do we want to take our first action to do?
that's cool.
Explore this point of interest.
Okay, you already have
The general
this hex.
the hex. Yeah.
Yes, because
Yeah, explore further.
normally when we do overland exploration, we don't talk in terms of hexes. I do path crawls, right? But here you guys know about the hexes because it's right there on there. So if you want to explore the hex, you know there are 2 more points of interest here.
Right, yeah, that's what we want to do. Is try to find the next
and he
one.
wants you to know that. So it's
Yeah.
like a collect them all.
Yeah.
Although you don't need to. Because all your characters know is you need to pay off your stuff. Now, you may have other stuff you decided for your character. I don't know about it, though.
We also need to get off this island before we can pay this stuff off.
Yep. Well, obviously.
Well, I
No.
think the
One
idea...
day we may find the bay.
Yeah, I think the idea is that there's an Adventurers Guild outpost here, and you just bring your cash there. See what I'm saying?
We just have to find it.
And then you get a boat back.
Or we need to build a boat or take someone else's boat.
Okay, we're going to stop and watch the Tom Hanks movie Castaway.
Which way did we go to get here? Were we headed north? Were we headed south? You know?
Whoa!
You're coming from the northeast,
Coming from the northeast, and then we shipwrecked, and we ended up on
the
the
eastern side.
eastern side of them. So I think that this is probably the bay we need to go to right here.
We'll see.
Well, let me
That
ask you a
makes a lot
question.
of
These
sense.
stones, you said how big are they? They're ranging
Various
from what?
sizes, from pebble to human.
So I think we should try to at least collect a couple of these stones.
You
if they're
should.
emanating
You should
heat.
try that.
But the question is, do we have anything that can contain it?
Check HS-26.
Metal, like armor.
You just put it in your sack. And just keep it dry.
But if it's too hot, it'll burn through the sack.
Okay, so so clearly the right choice is to once my thing's dry and I'm dressed, I have my stuff together. Let's look around this hex.
All right.
I mean let's look around this beach.
Yes. So that is explore the current hex. And he has helpful rules for it. Like I've got a map here with normal hex map iconography rather than a representational thing. And then each action you can take has its rules listed here. 1 page, very nice. Although I printed it out over two pages on 1 page. Explore. Exploring a hex costs a single watch. So there we go. By the time we pick up, this takes you until 10 o'clock. Okay? I will roll an encounter. You will discover a new point of interest in the hex. There's no probability about it. You will discover a new point of interest in the hex.
Really?
Yep.
That's fascinating.
And then you'll resolve whatever encounter is rolled. So I can make the encounter happen whenever I want, like before you make discovery or after it, but just try to contextualize things. I kind of like that. I mean, it's a little gamey, but it gives you focus and you know what is possible. So I will say that you discover. Let's figure out which one it is. All right. I know which one it is. So we'll take a break real quick and be right back.
Eventually.